You are now listening to the M.K.P podcast.
Hello and welcome to the M.K.P podcast, episode 18.
Yeah.
Yes, I got that right. Or should I say welcome to the MP podcast, episode 1, because Kush's streak of being featured in every single episode has finally come to an end.
No, he's not
We
the
knew-
champion anymore. He's lost it.
We knew we'd get him eventually. No, he had to be off this week. It's unfortunate considering last week we were missing you, Paul, and now we're missing Kush. But at least I'm still here.
Yes, exactly. Matt's still here, the god of the MKP podcast.
And I totally haven't missed episodes before or caused the podcast to miss a whole week before. Definitely not.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So once again, we were planning to do the next edition of How Well Do You Know Your Mate this week. That's not going to be happening. So we have got some stuff lined up for this week's episode. We've got some news to talk about, and Paul and I are going to use this episode to discuss a mutual enjoyment of ours. We are going to be taking this episode without Kush as an excuse to talk about one of our favourite TV shows, Doctor Who.
In other words, we're going to waffle on for about an hour about something that could take 10 minutes to discuss. But, you know, we love it. We love Doctor Who, so we've got to.
Yep, we love Doctor Who. Everything pre-2018.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway, should we get into the news?
Yes, let's get into the news.
Let's get into the news. We are recording this on Monday the 12th of July, which means a certain big event for England happened last night. And I'd just like to say, I called it from the start. It wasn't coming home. I called it.
My mate called it about an hour and a half, really, before the actual game finished, and he said they're going to win on penalties because England are shite, and he was right.
I would just like to point out that ever since the Euro started, all three of us have predicted that it is not coming home. Even Kush, the resident podcast football expert, said it is not coming home.
I mean, I
and,
think
we ultimately were right.
We started to think it might when we won against Denmark, but then I think we knew it was going to be penalties. I think he knew that. And
we just beat Denmark, though.
No, it was obviously Ukraine, and I can't remember who before that.
Oh, it was Ukraine. Because I know there was one we just barely. I know there was one we went like 4-0 against, and I knew there was one we just about beat.
Yeah, Ukraine was the 4-0. Then we just about beat Denmark. Was it Wednesday?
I thought it was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel so sorry for anyone who was working in a spoons last night. Honestly.
I'm surprised they kept it open and didn't let them go home and watch it. So
no social distancing in England last night.
Pretty much non-existent.
Yeah. After seeing some of these football fans' reactions to the loss, they never deserved it to come home. I'm going to be honest. First of all, a few weeks ago, when you saw, did you see there was that picture going around of that crying German girl? After we beat Germany.
I think so. Didn't she get like sent money or something?
Yeah, but she was sent money because before that she was getting sent all these sort of like troll comments and messages from all these like England fans who were just taking the piss out of her, mocking her, taunting her, and funny how things work out, because now a lot of those England fans that were sending those to her now look like her this morning. Crying because their team lost. Someone raised did a fundraiser to raise money for her to show her that not all English people are bad.
Most are, but you know there are the very few of us.
Yeah, and I know I can't say it's all England fans are like that, because obviously it's a case of the vocal minority, isn't it?
Exactly, it's a vast minority, I would say.
Yeah, it's like when people try to say like, "Oh, all vegans are bad," or "all vegans try to force it on you." It's like, well, no, you're just thinking of like the vocal minority.
Yeah,
is like, I had this same conversation with someone the other day, but still, and that, and there's been some what's his name, Saka, one of the football players, something like that, Saka,
Yeah.
something like that, has received some really, really despicable and racially charged, like just straight up racist and horrible messages from England fans in like comments and stuff since last night, because I don't know, I guess he like fumbled something in the. I didn't watch it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not watch
The
it.
thing is, it was so many people have said this. It was so because he's like, I think he's like 19 years old, and he was doing the last penalty. So that penalty basically decided whether we won the game. Someone of that age shouldn't have that kind of pressure on them.
Yeah,
Literally,
that's younger than me now.
of course it is. Yeah,
Big 20 now.
that's young. Oh wow.
You're the only young one left on the podcast.
I'm the baby in the group.
No, not for long. Not for long, though.
1 month and month and a half.
Yeah, you got just over a month, and then you can join us in the old man club.
The old man club. I mean, I've got a flip phone, so like, no, I've got a flip case.
But changing the M.K.P's audience demographic from like 18 to 30-year-olds to 80 plus to fit the old people demographic, which I think we now fall into.
Yes. Oh wow.
I don't know. I'm waffling. Anyway, back to the footy. So yeah, just like honestly, if you're that upset and can't handle the fact that we lost something as really meaningless as like a football game. I'm sorry.
That's a bit far. I mean, I did scream yesterday when we lost. I was distraught. But
yeah, fair play. Fair enough. Be passionate and really want us to win. But if you're going out your way to then like riot or smash up Italian shops or whatever, or attack people for supporting Italy, or you're like leaving these racist hate comments to the players, then it's like, then you never deserved it to come home in the first place. You're acting like that.
It's like when a lot of them booed the national anthem for Italy, and it's like there's no sportsmanship in that. You've got to support each other. It's that's sports. You respect each other.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Just like, like if you're just upset and you just really wanted England to win, then yeah, it's sad. Like you got your hopes up and it didn't work out, and it's like, congrats to Italy. But if you just wanted England to win it, then yeah, fair enough. Like being upset and whatnot. But it's then like, don't be one of these people who go out of their way to like go after Italian people or like leave hate comments to the teams and whatnot, or attack fans of the other team. Like because if you're one of those people, then honestly, you didn't deserve for England to win in the first place.
And the fact that you just don't deserve to be a football fan, really. I mean,
you don't deserve to have the glory of your team winning.
It's
you're going to act like that.
Hooliganism. And that is one big problem with football. But again, it's a minority.
That's always been like my dad was talking about this to me the other day. Like that's always been a massive like football hooliganism. Football hooliganism in England has always been pretty bad over here. It's not the worst over here. There's other places where it's really bad, like in Russia especially is really bad for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Russia's bad, but
like still, it is pretty bad over here. And like I literally saw some people posting on Instagram today, like the fact that you've got to like protect like women and children and LGBT people and whatnot because grown men who are football fans can't take losing the finals is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But commiserations to England. Big congrats to Italy. I really fancy eating pizza now, you know.
I had pizza for dinner yesterday, and I wish I hadn't now.
Oh dear. I'm saying you wish. I'm saying you willed it into existence when you ate that pizza, Paul. I'm blaming you for. We're blaming you for the loss.
I blame myself. Matt. I blame myself.
Yeah.
But I just want to say to they're not going to obviously hear me say this, but to our England team, they played their heart off. They got second place. I mean, come on, that's not happened in 55 years.
Yeah, fair play for getting all the way to the finals. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And they held their own against Italy for about 2 hours or more. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Italy are pretty good, so.
If you go back a few weeks, Kush wasn't convinced we'd even get as far as the semi-finals. Seems like, oh, we've got to get through Spain and Germany, and like he said, like we're not going to get past those teams, and we did.
Yeah.
Wait, did we face Spain?
I don't think so, actually. I'm just trying to think about it because I think
I'm trying to remember what the teams he was on about that we had to get through were.
Because I think semi-finals was Denmark. I think quarter-finals was Ukraine, and then whatever they call it before that, I think that was Germany and possibly Spain.
Yeah, I know. He said Germany was one of the ones we wouldn't get past. I'm trying to remember who else he said though, because it slipped my mind and I cannot remember for the life of me.
Actually, apparently the ref yesterday was German.
France. France was another one he said we wouldn't get through.
France. Oh,
and I think we did face Spain actually.
We probably. It rings a bell. I seem to remember.
Yeah,
that.
I think he said France and Spain and Germany were ones we wouldn't get past, and we did.
We destroyed them. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, it proved Kush wrong.
We proved.
I mean, he still predicted it wasn't coming home, which he technically got right still. No, technically he did get right, but yeah, it's kind of a shame we don't have Kush here to discuss this. I feel like I'm not the right person for this topic. I didn't even watch it.
I know a very vague amount about the past 3 matches, but I'm not really much of a football person in the first place. So I need Kush. I need Kush for that.
Yeah, we really needed Kush to talk about this segment. I don't know if you want Kush's thoughts. Spam him with message. Please don't. We do not encourage that. Nintendo revealed a new Nintendo Switch console, and it was a pretty lazy reveal, and it's kind of lame what they revealed, to be honest. It's called the Switch OLED model. Yeah. And from what I can tell, it's just a Nintendo Switch in white with slightly better graphics and a slightly improved screen for the handheld version. And a little bit more of a higher price tag than the Nintendo Switches.
So it reminds me of the Xbox Series X, which wasn't really that much different, again, other than specs, and they've just knocked it. And they've made it like a tower.
Yeah, but at least the Nintendo Switch, at least the Switch OLED is still a Nintendo Switch. It's not claiming to be a new console.
True.
It's just a new version of the same console. The Xbox Series X tried to advertise itself as a whole new console, despite the fact it's just a slightly upgraded Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like that was a bit scummy from Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know what the major difference between the Series X and the Xbox One is, except for slightly better graphics.
This is why people are going Sony these days. Like most people I know, they're going PS5.
At least with the PS5, that's an actual new console.
Yeah.
The Series X is not a new console.
It's just it's the same thing, shape, isn't it? It's different.
Yeah.
Basically
Series X games play on the Xbox One. So what is the point in getting a Series X?
Oh my god, it's just sales tactic, but it's one that people can see through, and that's what's quite funny about it.
I might get a Series X in the years to come, only because I will admit, Xbox has the best catalog of old school games over any current console, except for maybe PC. But PC doesn't count, so.
That PC superior though. I say that, but I haven't.
Yeah, obviously, if we're talking about PC, you can pretty much play anything on a PC.
Yeah,
but
and it's obviously better, but it's.
But like when it comes to consoles, Xbox, through its backwards compatible library, has the absolute 100% best library of old games out of any of them. Like PS4 and Switch aren't even close.
I'll tell you what, I might save up. I want to get like a PS3 or 4 maybe soon. Just it's mainly for me watching DVDs, but I might go on to Xbox Series X maybe. But it'll be one of those things, and I guess it's the same with you. You want to make sure you got plenty of money saved because it's just not worth.
Yeah, it's like I tried to play newer stuff except for like Switch exclusive stuff, which I'll obviously play on there. But like, I try to play newer stuff on my PS4 now. But the thing is, I just keep getting drawn back to my Xbox by that backwards compatible library because it's so good and there's so much there. It's like I said on last week's podcast. I just replayed the Sonic Adventure games, and it's like it's just got such a good library. It's so much stuff is on that backwards compatible library.
Yeah, that is pretty cool actually. Looking at old games because it brings back memories, doesn't it? It brings back
lots
of memories.
Yeah, even if some people say, "Oh, I can't get into old games because cameras and controls are bad," but it's just like I love the Xbox mostly for just that reason, just that backwards compatible library.
Yeah,
it's mad.
I think that is pretty cool. That is one thing that would possibly
because a lot of people get hung up on Xbox exclusives, and yes, that is a big problem with the Xbox. The fact that they have like fuck all when it comes to exclusives, and no one plays Halo anymore. But the thing with Xbox is that backwards compatible library does keep that console alive.
Yeah, the only thing, but still keeps it alive.
Yeah. Whereas with the PS4, you can only play PS4 games and anything that gets ported, but you need a port. It's not like. Whereas with the Xbox, you don't need them. You don't need to wait for companies to port a game to new consoles because you've still got the backwards compatible versions that work on the Xbox One and Series X. So all I wish is that more original Xbox games were backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Because like there's loads and loads of 360 games that are, but then there's so many Xbox like original Xbox games that you still need an Xbox 360 for to play. So thankfully I still have my Xbox 360, so it's fine.
I did until about 2 months ago where I had the Red Ring of Death, so I'm screwed there.
Yeah. I think mine's a later version of the Xbox Series X, so mine doesn't actually get the Red Ring of Death.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Red Ring of Death's pretty easily fixable though, like because it's more just to do with the console being overheated and just needing to be fixed and cleaned a bit.
I was thinking that, but because there's obviously a lot of dust on it, so that could be it, but I don't know.
I would try opening up, and if you still have it, or
I think we still have it. That's what that's now, but I'll check.
I was going to say, if you still have it, I would try trying to open the console up and giving it a good clean, and that might fix it.
It looks like I'm going on YouTube because I don't know how to open it up without breaking it.
Fair enough. I've had to open my Xbox One up a few times to clean it out and try and fix the fan and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like I'm pretty sure my Xbox One is like 7-8 years old now at this point.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's how long I've had that thing. Then. Wait, when did? I mean, the consoles came out in 2013.
Yeah, I was going to say
I got one. I got one in 2014.
So yeah, that's 7 years.
What? 7 years? Something like that.
That's 7. That's to be fair, 7 years for a console. At least from my perspective, is good because mine have kind of broke after 4. But that's pretty good. Yeah,
but I'm thinking I'm gonna keep running because I was having problems with my Xbox, but I've managed to sort of fix them now, which is again why I've just been going through that backwards compatible library recently. Yeah. So Anyway, I can't believe the tangent we've gone on. We'll bring up a topic, We'll bring up the football, and we'll just start talking about like the random shit.
Pretty much.
We bring up Love Island. We start talking about British TV shows. We bring up the Switch OLED. We start talking about Xbox. Anyway, Switch OLED. Buy it if you want. I'm not because I have a Switch and it works perfectly fine. I don't really want to upgrade. So
actually, I still need to have a go on that Switch. Actually, if you don't mind, because we should have some.
I won a Smash Bros tournament with you and Kush, and I'm not going to rest until I get it.
No, you could be 90 years old on your deathbed.
I don't care. Like I'm pretty. It's probably pretty obvious that I'm going to beat you both. Because you've never played Smash Bros. And Kush doesn't own his Switch anymore. He
Yeah.
gave it away. But
But
I
still,
want to play that game with you two so badly.
yeah.
And Mario Kart.
Oh yes, I mean if it was like on the DS or on the Wii Nintendo, I would have a chance of winning, but I still on the Switch. I don't think I will.
It's not too different playing it. I'll tell you that.
Really?
It's not too different playing it on the Switch. Just you're playing it with a slightly smaller controller.
That is my main issue because my hands are
Like
pretty.
it controls the same, and like we have steering wheels for it as well.
Yeah, oh, that's
Like
pretty good.
you still you could for the Wii. You get the steering wheels.
Yeah.
You can. We've got one of those. We got some of those for the Switch as well. So you should be fine.
Nice.
Shall we get into the meat and potatoes of
Meat.
the podcast?
The meat of the sandwich, the ham of
So,
the sandwich.
I don't know if you've heard of this, Paul. There's a little known show I like, and a little known show. It wasn't ever that big. You know, some people over in the UK heard of it. It's called Doctor Who.
I've never heard of that. Never heard of that. No, it's...
I met this guy because of it actually. Because there was this guy I know who liked the show. I think his name was like Maul Miggot, something like that. Like something along those lines.
Yeah. Did he like?
I was going to try and switch. I was going to try and switch your initials around, but then I realised that wouldn't work. It's your initials.
Magic initials.
You just stay Paul Pigott. You don't change.
Oh, see, that's the magic. Hang on a second, it's not me, is it? I thought it was someone else. It was Maul Miggot. I've not seen this.
Yeah, no, Maul Miggot.
I've not seen this.
But no, like the reason we pretty much became friends was because of this show.
I'm trying to fix it because we tried to like remember this when we did that episode when we were like talking about how we met, but I think it was kind of end of year 6, wasn't it? Where we kind of started talking about Doctor Who.
It must have been around that time. Oh, we were in the Wind the Willows together.
Yes, it was probably then when it started because obviously we were acting.
Yeah, and there was a scene in that show in which a little 11-year-old me had to tug on your ear while telling you I was the chief and that I ruled the villains because we were all both villains. I was the head villain, and you were like my right hand. You were my right hand man.
Best part I've ever played. Best part I ever played, ever, hands down.
Didn't you have like 2 lines, and then like your big starring moment was me pulling on your ear,
Pretty much.
fall in line.
There was, and I'm not going to say the last name of the teacher either. That there was a certain teacher who thought that you were doing it for real because apparently my acting was pretty good. But this was years ago.
For real? I'm pretty sure I was.
No, but like actually like proper tugging on it because.
Bro, I had to make you fall in line. You were my right-hand man. I was the chief villain. And similarly, all these years later, you know, I still have to make you fall in line. You know, I'm the glue that holds the sandwich.
Okay, let's just forget that I ever said that because I don't know why I said that.
Wait, what did you say?
The glue that holds this sandwich together.
Oh, yes. Bro,
that's not my best.
Bro, that quote's immortal. It's the best quote on the podcast.
It's best podcast quote of the year. Actually, it might be last year. I can't even remember now.
Bro, that quote is going on my gravestone. Like,
I'm so touched by that. Thank you.
I reckon when I get my first tattoo, I should get the glue that holds the sandwich together.
Just a face of me with a thumbs up.
And then underneath it, a picture of a sandwich full of glue.
Yeah, and then just put like a dash and say who said it and what year they said it. Paul Pigott 2021.
Quotation marks, Paul Pigott 2020.
You've got to cite your sources, Matt. This is the media industry.
Your sources. Put it through cite this for me.
Cite this for me, Paul Pigott.
Oh dear. Anyway, more tangents. What's your first memory of Doctor Who, Big Pigott?
My first ever memory is from 2006. I was round my grandparents' house and we were watching TV. I just remember a massive werewolf just running down a corridor and David Tennant and Billy Piper running away from it. First ever Doctor Who memory, ever. Like, hands down. What was yours, Matt? What was your first ever memory?
My earliest memory of Doctor Who is doing homework in 2007
Oh, I think I know what one you meant. Yeah.
and finishing the homework and going next door into the living room. And a certain show was on. It was called Doctor Who, and it was an episode entitled Smith and Jones. And I watched a little bit of it, and they were just walking around a hospital, and I thought, oh, this must be a boring adult show. So I went away. Little did I realise, about 10 minutes later, space rhinos would show up and start shooting people.
They were on the moon.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And but then we were on holiday the next week, staying in a log cabin, eating dinner, and my parents put a show on, and lo and behold, it's that Doctor Who show again. And I think, oh no, it's that hospital program, and clearly the fact it was called Doctor Who probably didn't help.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
And then witches started appearing, and Shakespeare started appearing, and it wasn't a very good episode, but for some reason it's my first episode, and it got me into watching the show. I watched next week. There was flying cars and big crabs, and then the next week there were Daleks, and then from there on out I was pretty much hooked.
Yes, it was season 3. I think we can both agree. Season 1, 2, 3, 4. It got better as it went along, and I think season 3 was.
Season 3 is very underrated.
It is. Martha is such an underrated companion as well.
It's not one of the weaker finales, but I do think it's a very underrated series.
I mean, the last ever episode is
We'll get to that actually, though. We'll get to that eventually.
True.
Got a favourite modern Doctor Who episode, Paul? We would talk about classic Doctor Who, but you all aren't ready for that yet. So
yeah, I'm not so well versed in classic.
Yeah, you all aren't ready for classic Doctor Who yet.
I mean, I've watched.
When we are really desperate for topics and really ready to show how nerdy we can be, then maybe we'll talk about classic Doctor Who. But for now, let's just stick with the modern stuff. Everybody knows.
So give it. I don't know, a year until Kush can't come on next time, and then we'll talk about classic.
When we're desperate, we'll talk about classic Doctor Who. Favorite modern Who episode, Paul?
I think you know the answer to this. And I know you don't agree, but the end. There
are two I'm thinking of. There's two stories I'm thinking of.
Yes.
I really hope it's one rather than the other. It's either Stolen Earth and Journey's End or The End of Time.
Oh, Matt, you know what I'm going to say. End of Time. Although Stolen Earth is my second favourite.
I cannot get behind that one, my guy.
It's very close.
I cannot get behind The End of Time, my guy.
I
can't get behind that one. My favourite modern Doctor Who episode. It's difficult because there are quite a few good ones. It's got to be something from the David Tennant era or from Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
You quite like Family of Blood, don't you? Human Nature, Family of Blood.
I have grown to love Human Nature and Family of Blood.
Same.
Where he becomes a human.
Yeah.
So they're really good, and I don't know why I never loved them as a kid. I've got a soft spot for Doomsday.
Oh, of course. Everyone has a soft spot for that episode. I mean,
Doomsday is a very good episode. Daleks versus Cybermen. And you know what? I really love Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways.
Yeah, it's in the first season finale, and it just showed what Doctor Who was capable of.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Another one I really like is what's it called? Doctor Dances, Empty Child.
Yes.
So good.
The first Stephen Moffat episode.
Yeah. I think though, if I had to pick a favourite,
I'm going to guess that you're going to
still got to be Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Really?
I think I've still got to pick Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Fair enough.
Even though I wish the Rose melodrama was played down a little bit less, nothing will ever top that cliffhanger where the Daleks come out.
Absolutely.
After the Cybermen. And Daleks versus Cybermen is just fucking awesome.
The best thing ever. Best thing ever.
It's so cool.
I can get behind that one. And the thing is, I know the Rose like drama was a bit cringy, but I still get upset at the end of that episode. Still get upset.
We'll be able to talk some more in depth about episodes though, because the reason we bring up Doctor Who is because we've got a tier list. We have a tier list of all of the modern series of Doctor Who, and we're going to rank them.
Does this include season 11 and 12?
Yes, it does. Every single series from 2005 to 2020.
Yes. Oh,
and
God.
also, there's something else we need to point out. So, we are going to take into consideration Christmas specials and stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
The way I'm saying it is, Christmas Invasion counts as Series 2.
Yes.
Runaway Bride is Series 3.
Voyage of the Damned.
Voyage of the Damned counts as Series 4. All of the other David Tennant specials count as Series 4, including End of Time. Christmas Carol counts as Season 5.
Oh, I thought you would do Season 6 for that.
Yeah, actually, no. Okay, Christmas Carol then counts as Season 5. Season 6.
Season 6, yeah.
And
it was Doctor Widow and the Wardrobe next, wasn't
Doctor Widow and the Wardrobe counts as Series 7, and so does The Snowmen.
Yeah, both not the best Christmas specials.
Yeah. The Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor both count as Series 7.
6.
7.
Yeah. No, I was saying that classic episodes, yeah.
Yeah. And, what's the next one? Last Christmas?
Last Christmas, that
counts as Series... I want to count that one as Series 8.
So do I, actually, just because it was...
Because, like, it's still got like, the Danny Pink and stuff going on in it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What was the one after that?
Husbands of River Song. And then it was Return of Doctor Mysterio.
Husbands of River Song I'm going to count as Series 9.
Same.
And the Return of Doctor Mysterio I'm going to count as Series 10.
I think it does technically on the DVDs anyway, so I think that works.
And after that...
You kind of have to... The Twice Upon a Time...
Twice Upon a Time counts as Series 10 as well. What's it? Resolution counts as 11. And Revolution of the Daleks counts as Series 12.
Season 12.
Yeah. Got that?
Watch season 11 and 12 now, so I can talk a little bit about it, which is...
All right. Just wanted to make sure we clear up that we are including those episodes when we talk about the series as a whole.
Yeah.
So we have some tiers here. We've got top tier, legendary. Next tier is fantastic, which is the equivalent of like a good tier. We've got meh, bad,
I love
brackets, wolf. And then in the bottom tier, we've got send it back into the time war, back into hell.
That's my favourite because obviously that's a quote from my favourite episode. So
I thought you'd like that. I'd pretty much put that in there for you, mate.
You're such a lad. Such a lad.
Have that, mate. Right.
I appreciate that so much.
So,
brilliant.
We start, obviously, with Series 1. And I'm not going to lie, I know there's a fantastic tier, but this has got to be legendary. It's got to be.
Fantastic makes more sense, though, because it's like his line. That was his line.
I don't care. The series belongs nowhere but legendary. It brought the show back. It shut up the people who were like, "Oh, Doctor Who is for like Doctor Who bad," when the classics died. And like, it started all of these. Like, you wouldn't have any of these other series if this one had failed.
Very true. It is very true. You know what? Because you've given me Back into the Time War, Back into Hell, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that.
And I don't know when the last time you would have watched Series 1 is, but go back and watch it from start to finish. It's so good. I genuinely don't think there's a bad episode.
I mean, the only episode that I would find quite boring is The Young Quiet Dead. But even then, it's still a good story. But it just, it was just a bit.
I don't even think the Free Slovene episodes are bad.
No, I love the London World War III.
I would genuinely say Series 1 is like the perfect series. I don't think there's a bad episode in there.
It brings so many like different genres in as well because it's like it's sci-fi, but then it's real life at the same time in that series.
Yeah,
dark. It's quite dark as well.
It's very down to earth, which is something that I think some of the later series haven't been.
Yeah, and that's
especially the Moffat ones. But yeah, it's very down to earth, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just very good.
it's every two-parter in that series is just at least 8 out of 10 quality. The single episodes just they might have their bad moments, but they're still really good.
I genuinely don't think it belongs anywhere but Legendary. It's a very good series.
Yeah, I
It's
respect
still
that.
so watchable. Some of the special effects are a little bit ropey by today's standards.
Yeah,
but it's still very watchable.
I
That
think,
first series.
like you said, it was we relied on that series. You know, the pressure was on to get Doctor Who started again, and that series did it. So
yeah.
it works.
Right. Season 2. You know what? I do like Series 3, but I might make a controversial statement here and say this might be my favorite David Tennant series.
Really? Wow.
There are some very good ones here. There is right, so Christmas Invasion is a very good. He's one of the best Christmas specials.
To this day, it's probably my second favorite because obviously End of Time. But yeah, it's so good,
so good. And I will admit, New Earth is a little bit of a slow starter.
It's a bit of a cringe episode as well, but I quite like New Earth.
New Earth's not amazing.
That's what puts it up for me.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Tooth and Claw. I know you really like that episode.
I think there's a bit of bias considering what I said earlier, but you know, it's I just think it's classic.
I think it's a little bit of a meta episode, but then you get School Reunion, and that is quality. Chef's Kiss. Great episode.
Sarah Jane Smith. Anything with Sarah is good.
I forgot what I was saying about episodes I love. Girl in the Fireplace comes after that as well.
Yes, it does.
Girl in the Fireplace is so fucking good.
Other than Silence in the Library, I think that's probably his best work. To be honest,
Moffat was such a good writer in these years.
When he
Girl
was
in the Fireplace is so fucking good. And then you get the Cyberman 2-parter afterwards.
That's
very good.
Iffy.
I like that 2-parter, you know.
6 out of 10, 7 maybe.
No, I like that 2-parter. I like the whole parallel world stuff.
I mean, yeah. It's not a bad. Don't get me wrong. It's in no way a bad episode. It's
after that, you get another little bit of a stinky one with Idiot's Lantern.
Good concept. It gets boring in places.
It's okay, but it's not wonderful.
Weakest of the series, or other than
what comes after Idiot's Lantern?
Oh, straight into the other 2-parter. Impossible Planet.
Yeah. So good.
I love some of the best 2-parters.
It's like a perfect horror 2-parter.
Yeah, it shows that Doctor Who is not just a sci-fi show.
In the first part, you've got the constant teasing of like something coming, and then you've got Toby getting possessed, and it's all built up around horror. Yeah. And in that second part, you've got them getting chased by the Ood.
And then you actually see the devil as well at the end.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good 2-parter.
Yeah, that one's good.
With a great ending as well.
Yes, true. It's something you don't get in actual horrors where everything's like great at the end, but it was good. And it obviously predicts what happens at the end of the series, which I thought was pretty cool.
And then after that, you get the infamous Love and Monsters.
This one's a difficult because it's such a cringy episode and there's such a bad joke at the end. But it's actually, what I like about it is the Doctor's not in it much, and it's more about kind of the Doctor's legacy in that one, which I quite like.
Love and Monsters is pretty fucking bad, though. Let's be honest.
It's
kind of so bad it's good. I feel like though.
I respect that. That.
It's not boring.
No, not at all.
It's not a boring episode. It falls under. I feel like it falls under the so bad it's good.
Yeah,
it's hilariously bad, that episode.
It is quite. It's the villain for me. Like I said, I like the fact the Doctor's legacy, but the villain just cringe.
And after that, you get another kind of bad one with Fear Her. Not a great one.
Again, concept wise, semi-decent, but
the concept was decent, but like the Doctor running along with the Olympic flame at the end of the episode's a bit of a piss take.
Bit cringe.
It's like, seriously, is nobody Yeah, so the guy who's running, the athlete, running with the Olympic torch, collapses.
Because a little shit flies in the torch. It doesn't even fly in his face.
Yeah.
Like,
And then no one questions it. No one comes to his aid, but no one questions it when some random weirdo in a suit picks up the torch and starts running. And then no one stops him from running into the stadium. No one questions it when this random guy in a suit is lighting the Olympic torch. It's so stupid, but it's also kind of brilliant.
it's stupid but great at the same time.
It's brilliantly
It can be
stupid.
two things at once. It can be two.
It's brilliantly stupid. And then you get that great finale as well with Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. I don't know if it's legendary, but I do think it belongs in Fantastic.
If you put it under Fantastic, you would be mad. So I think, Fantastic. I think it can't be above that just because some of the single episodes bring it down.
Yeah,
but...
I do think Series 1 is much better than it, but I do think it belongs in Fantastic.
Definitely.
Now we get to my first series of the show, Series 3. And to be honest, I really like Series 3. I think it's very underrated.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty meh episodes in there. You know, you got the Runaway Bride. Runaway Bride's decent. Smith and Jones is pretty good. But then you get the Shakespeare Code, which is...
Now, you're going to hate me for this, but I really like Gridlock.
I like Gridlock.
I really like Gridlock. But
I like Gridlock.
The Dalek two-parter, that drags it down for me because
I quite like the Dalek two-parter though as well.
I just feel like they overused it could have been a single episode. I feel
like maybe having Daleks in this series was a little bit. I feel like maybe they should have left them out this series. Yeah. But I get why they did it, obviously, to set up for Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Yeah. And because they also have an agreement with the guy who owns the Daleks, or his estate, that they have to use them once a series.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. And then what's after? Oh, Lazarus Experiment. That's kind of meh.
It's not the best. 42.
What comes after Lazarus Experiment?
42. You know the one on spaceship where they got 42 minutes to.
God, that episode's terrible, and it's Chris Chibnall as well.
No, I wouldn't go as far as terrible, but yes,
that episode is boring as fuck.
It just showed Chris Chibnall. Like this is why I predicted Chris wouldn't be the best because the next is obviously Human Nature, Family and Blood.
That brings it up a lot. And then you got Blink. Blink
again,
brings it up.
Great single episode.
And then you get that polarizing three-parter. Now,
obviously, Utopia and Sound of Drums, in my opinion, you can't fault them.
Utopia is very good. I will admit, Utopia is very good. Sound of Drums is a great setup. And it all kind of falls flat in Last of the Time Lords.
A lot of people criticize Last of the Time Lords because of obviously what happens with the Doctor and the whole, satellite network thing. But
it just becomes Super Saiyan.
It's Doctor Who, so I think the whole it's cringe, it's unrealistic. I just don't get that argument because
I feel like it's such a Deus Machina though. He just goes super.
Yeah.
He collects all the Chaos Emeralds and beats the Master with ease. Like it's such a cop-out ending.
It's turning what the Master was obviously trying to control them, and it turns that on its head and turns that against him, which I
just can't get past it. And you can try and justify it, but it's such a Deus Machina that I just can't justify it.
It's definitely, in my opinion, the worst single episode of the finales for the first 4 series. I will admit
this is difficult because I really want to put it in Fantastic because the episodes in this series that are good are very good. Like Human Nature and Blink are so good. Yeah. And Runaway Bride, if you count that, that's a good special.
It is a very good special.
And the setup to the finale is very good.
Yes.
But I don't think I can put it in Fantastic. I think this might have to be a meh.
I want to go Fantastic, but I will give you meh, but you know what I'm going to say about Series 4. So
I think this might have to be a meh, my guy, honestly.
I think if we were to do it, I would say it would have to be between meh and Fantastic, but
I think you could maybe bump it up to fantastic, but I think it's got to be a good meh.
we've got to be quite harsh with this. I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think
There were
there's
definitely a few more misses in this series than there had been previously. Series 4. Now you are very, very biased towards this series,
Okay.
and to be honest, I can't really blame you because there are some great ones in here.
Too good. Okay, it's got I Sontara strategy in Poison Sky. Some people find it boring. I like it a
I think
lot.
it's okay at best. I don't think it's a great two-parter.
It's not. It's by far not the best. But then you have Silence in the Library, which is, in my opinion,
I'd also like to give a special shout out to Planet of the Ood.
Yeah,
That's a great story. I love the parallels they did to slavery in that one.
That's
and
fair.
like how they showed how bad it could be.
Yeah,
And I do think Partners in Crime is decent as well.
it's decent. I wouldn't say it's a great episode, but it's definitely decent.
Fires of Pompeii is okay.
I'm weird with Fires of Pompeii because I absolutely love that, but I think it sets up Turn Left, which is one of the reasons why I like it so much. And obviously,
Fires of Pompeii is helped by the fact it does sort of set up a season 9 episode as well.
That's very true, actually. Yes,
And it's like that long-term storytelling played out. But
Yeah.
what comes after? Doctor's Daughter. Is a bit of a stinker in my opinion.
I like it more. Actually, the reason I like it so much is because at the end, where the Doctor's about to shoot that guy, I think that's obviously the Doctor would never hold a gun. So I think you're like, is he gonna shoot him? Is he not? I like that bit, but
I think Doctor's Daughter is a little bit of a stinker, but yeah.
I know your opinions
What
on
comes after Doctor's Daughter?
Unicorn and the Wasp. I know you don't like that one.
Unicorn and the Wasp is fucking boring.
I'm not gonna
What's
lie.
after that?
It's
Is it
70.
Midnight? No.
Yeah, it's in the library.
Wait, were Midnight and Turn Left after another?
Yeah, Midnight, then Turn Left.
Mad, because they are two really fucking good episodes.
Such good episodes.
Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead is very good.
It's, in my opinion, Stephen Moffat's best ever story ever.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. And then obviously Midnight Next, which Midnight is one of those, like we were talking earlier about the Satan Pit. It's sort of horror.
Midnight is very good.
It's such it's such clever writing because it talks about human nature and how humans were basically the enemies.
I love how different that episode is as well. Like usually, I saw someone point this out. Usually in other Doctor Who episodes, the Doctor will give his big like, "I'm the Doctor, I'm this, and this" speech, and everyone will be quiet and follow what he says. In this episode, he goes, "I'm the Doctor," he gives his big "I'm blah 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 blah" speech, and other people go, "You're a bit full of yourself. Well, you right? No, I'm going to scrap you. I'm not having that." I love the turnaround.
No, but that's a very good point now that you say it, because it is like, a lot of the, I'm not saying I don't like when he does that, but obviously it turns it on its head. Which is clever.
Speaking of turning things, Turn Left is fantastic.
Well, you can't fault that. Like, come on, it's
so good.
The end of the world, basically. It's literally the end of the world.
Yeah, I love how they just go back through all the other series.
Yeah,
and just like everything changes because of just one moment in Runaway Bride.
Interesting fact, when I was in a certain place with my brother the other week, which I'm not going to say, we were watching the last 4 episodes of that series, and Turn Left, it's just, you can't fault it. You cannot fault it.
And then it sets up the brilliant finale. I know some people aren't big on Journey's End, but I think how good Stolen Earth is as well has to just outweigh it. I do think the Doctor sort of regenerating and then not is a bit of a cop out, but
but at the end of the day, like
it made for a great cliffhanger. So
David Tennant, who wants to lose David Tennant?
Made for a memorable cliffhanger. I can remember being 7 years old and being not even 7. I remember being like 6 years old.
Yeah,
and being like, "Oh my god, no, Doctor regenerating! Wow!" I remember being like that, and it's like I can remember that cliffhanger when it first came out.
I was sitting around my cousin's house. I remember snippets of it because obviously I wasn't really into it back then. But it's It's like, come on, planets in the sky, Earth is moved, like
Yeah.
Army of Daleks, Davros returns, and it's a crossover episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, because we're only 4 series in, we're gonna speed fire the specials.
Spitfire.
Next Doctor is meh.
Planet of the Dead.
What's it called? Planet of
the Dead.
Planet of the Dead is bad.
Oh, I like that still.
Planet of the Dead's rubbish. Waters of Mars is very good.
Absolute classic.
Waters of Mars is a great episode, and End of Time is hit and miss, and I kind of like it less the more I watch it.
It's 10 out of 10. Come on.
No, it isn't.
Time
My
lost
guy,
is bad.
End of Time Part 1 is so slow to set stuff up.
Okay, End of Time
Part 2 has it's still slow. The Doctor spends half the episode in space doing bugger all.
He's fixing the heating.
Fucking riveting for David Tennant's last episode. He's fixing the heating.
Yeah, but then he fixes the ship.
I can get a repairman I can watch a repairman do the same thing around my house. I don't need to watch David Tennant do it.
Like, every single missile on Earth is actually shot towards their ship while they're flying down to Earth at like 1,000 miles an hour. That is just.
One thing I will say, the reveal that Wilf was the one who was knocking was fantastic.
Never.
But I really hate the temper tantrum the Doctor has afterwards.
Oh, come on, that's good. Like this is the one moment where the Doctor is able to show that inside he is still we're all a child.
Doesn't fit the Doctor. He's just so out of character for him. Like, I know it's because he thinks like, oh, this body's gonna die if I do this. But the Doctor wouldn't have a tantrum about it. He's not the first Doctor to die by sacrificing himself. Like, when you think about it, 9 did it, 3 sacrificed himself, 5 sacrificed himself, and 9 sacrificed themselves, and they didn't cry about it. So why does 10 cry about it?
There are theories around why, and I think it's because like David Tennant's Doctor, as in the universe, was he was like he lasted the least amount of time. As in, I think it was supposed to be 4 years he was the 10th Doctor, and other Doctors probably hundreds of years. That's a theory, so I don't know if that's like true, but I think that might be one of the reasons he's so.
I've seen people arguing that 9 lasted less time than 10, though. So
maybe
it is whatever. But I feel like, and then the scenes where he goes to see all the companions are nice, even if it's a little bit of a rehash of Journey's End. And then the regeneration scene is brilliant.
It's fantastic.
But
legendary.
But
what?
I don't want to go is so cringe. I'm sorry. It's such a dead final line. There's one thing I like about that line, and that it's, he keeps going allons-y, and then allons-y is French for let's go, and then at the end he says, I don't want to go. That's the one thing I like about that line, but other than that, it's such a cringy final line.
No, I like that line, and the thing is, they filmed that hundreds of times.
I am so glad they didn't go with the one where he's going, I don't want to go. And he's like really crying about it. I'm so glad they didn't go with that one, because that one's just terrible.
I think they managed. I think they managed to get the contrast between not too upset and not too just dry. I think it worked. I think it worked. I mean, there's going to be no last line that's going to be brilliant, but I think it works.
I disagree. I think every other modern Doctor has had a brilliant final line, except for 10. I think 9's final line was great. I think 11's final line was great, and I think 12's final line was great. But 10's is just cringy to me. I can't tell you. I've got to tell it how it is. Like,
it shows vulnerability from the Doctor, and that's something you don't normally see. And this is like, obviously you had the Time Lord Victorious stuff where he was strong and almighty. Then you had vulnerability, and I think that's what I love about it.
You're not going to convince me, lad. I'm going to be on it. You're not going to convince me. I can't get behind. I don't want to go. I will say Matt Smith's first scene after he regenerates is great.
I like that.
Perfectly sets up his Doctor.
Yeah.
And Series 4 as a whole I know where you want it, so I'm gonna let you have it.
Got a
Put it in legendary.
It's got a legendary.
I'll give you a legendary. There are some great ones in there. You know, Forest of the Dead is great. Turn Left is great. Midnight is great. Waters of Mars. The Stolen Earth Journey's End two-part is great.
In my opinion, even without the specials, season 4 would be in legendary. But I think the specials do just bump it up that
I
bit more.
think if you took away the specials, I'd be more convinced to put it in legendary. I
Really?
think the specials are what lets it down a little bit for me when you take it into account as a whole, because I can't get behind. Oh, Voyage of the Damned as well is great.
Yes, that's one of my
But it's
favorites.
just like, I don't know, the only special I really love is Waters of Mars. Other than that, like, the specials don't do it for me.
I'm generally offended by the end of time, but it is.
I can't get behind it. It's not a great finale for 10.
At least you haven't called it bad. You've just said it's not the best, which
It's not bad, no. It's just underwhelming for his finale, in my opinion.
End of time though. The end of time. That's pretty big.
Man, it's the first part is so slow to set stuff up. The best part about the story is the interactions between the Doctor and the Master and Wilf. But like, it's so slow to set things up, and then it's such a underwhelming return for the Time Lords as well. I can't get behind it. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I think like Timothy Dalton as Razalon just shows how mighty they actually are.
Was good. Dalton was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to move on.
We need
Series
to move
5 is Moffat's best series as showrunner.
It is, well, other than season 10, I would argue.
I still think this is better than Series 10.
I would.
Series 5 is amazing. I needed to go back and rewatch Series 5 to realize how good it was.
Yeah.
It's like the 11th hour is the best like introduction to a Doctor.
It's the best. So, in my opinion, it's probably, other than like Smith and Jones, it's probably the best opener for all of New Who, because I think
it's the best opener, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the best opener of the modern series. That's great. This was before Amy Pond became annoying.
Yeah,
so
pretty
the
much.
series is still pretty good.
I think
Beast Below is decent. Not great, but decent. Victory of the Daleks is pretty good.
Decent. I think those two are not the strongest.
The Angel two-parter is fantastic.
I love that is one of my favourite two-parters. I'd say top 5 maybe. I
would say Vampires in Venice is a little bit boring.
That's one of my least favourite episodes of the series.
Vampires in Venice is a little bit boring. What comes after Vampires in Venice? Is it the Silurian one?
No, it's Amy's Choice.
Amy's Choice is very good.
I love that one.
I love Amy's Choice. Amy's Choice is very good.
Yeah.
I just wish they brought back the Dream Lord.
Yeah, it was about the War Doctor.
Yeah, great actor for him as well, Toby Jones.
Yeah, he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, isn't he?
Yes, he is. What's his face?
Not Zelda. Fucking no. It's the guy.
He's one of the villains from Captain America.
Yeah.
And
after that was the Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, wasn't it?
Yeah. I feel like that could have been better. It's also Chris Chibnall, which is kind of where you see why it could have been better.
It was decent, but the weakest two-parter, I'd say, of the series.
I'm not gonna lie, all the Chris Chibnall episodes now, even from the older series, they always remind me of his version of the show, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But the Silurian two-part is the same. It just reminds me of that version of the show.
Not forget, Matt, he wrote the episode of Torchwood where the alien is a sex gas who feeds off of orgasms, right? That he wrote.
That's legendary. What are you on about? That's so legendary. Hilarious.
Legendary because it's funny, but it's not legendary because it's actually a good episode.
Nah, bro. The sex alien. All hail the sex alien from Torchwood.
It's so cringe.
Villain, better than the Daleks, to be honest.
If you actually
the orgasm alien from Torchwood. Season 5. After that,
it was
the Silurian two-part's not great, but what comes after Vincent and the Doctor?
And I say
fantastic.
A lot of people love that. I think that is a fucking boring episode. I think it's so boring.
It used to be the same. After rewatching it, I think it's a pretty decent episode, but the ending of the episode is so fucking perfect. It's so good. And fun fact, it's the most viewed video on the Doctor Who YouTube channel.
That is true. That is true.
Even more than David Tennant's Regeneration, which I thought was the number one.
Yeah. I can't get behind. Even the ending, I just think is a bit like.
I love that ending. I love it. I love that ending too much, where he shows Vincent like his life and his legacy, and then the message at the end that even though it didn't change anything, like the bad things in life don't ruin the good things. It's such a good message.
That's what it gets it for me, though. It's like he sees all of that, but he still goes crazy and he still gets depressed. And I'm just like, well, he wouldn't if he had
The idea that you can't change it. Some things are just meant to happen.
Yeah, but like if
it still adds that message at the end of like sometimes the bad things will like ruin good things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the bad thing. I don't know. I can't remember the message exactly. It's something along the lines of the bad things don't always ruin what the good things meant.
In that case, it did though, because he still got depressed and.
Nah, bro, you can't convince me. It's Vincent and the Doctor. It's a decent episode, and then the ending is a legendary.
That episode with Vampires in Venice to me is just so weak for season 5.
Come back to Vampires in Venice.
No, it's just those two to me are the only ones that really drag it down.
Nah, I think only Vampires in Venice drags it down for me. I think Beast Below is a worse episode than Vincent and the Doctor.
Can't convince me on that.
The Lodger is up next, which is surprisingly good.
I really like that one. It's not
on James Corden aside. Great episode.
He works in that. He worked in that.
Yeah, great episode. And the finale is fantastic.
It's brilliant.
It's I don't think it's Moffat's best finale. I think that is in series 10.
Yes.
But I do think it's a better finale than series 3's.
I would have to slightly disagree, but I would say it's close because obviously it's dealing with literally the destruction of the universe. So
yeah. I think series 5's got to be legendary.
I'm gonna have to go fantastic, but
I've got to.
It's just
I feel like that's got to be legendary, bro. It's Moffat's best series.
Can't put 5 above 2 though. I can't do that. It just to me.
I can though. I feel like it's too good.
There's not enough like good episodes in the series to have it be in legendary. I just no.
Where would you put series 10? Like where are you thinking series 10 before
10.
we get to it?
I was honestly gonna go legendary for series.
I can't put series 10 above series 5. I think series 5 is better. I think it's Moffat's best.
It's so many good episodes.
It's Smith's best episode. His best series even.
You know what? If we can all agree that seasons 7 and 8 are going to be below meh, then I will. Series 7 is dog shit.
It's dog shit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do legendary then.
Series 5's got to be legendary. It's Smith's best series in my opinion. Yeah. I think series 6 and series 7 never hit the same as this one did.
No.
And series 5 also came out at like the peak of me being a Doctor Who fan. Like I had all the toys. I had all the sonic screwdrivers. I had a Fez. Like this was at the peak of me being a Doctor Who fan.
It's weird.
I had bow ties so I could dress like Matt Smith.
Wow.
So and he had the same first name as me.
True.
So it's like Matt Smith. As much as David Tennant will always be my Doctor, I think Matt Smith is one of my absolute favourites.
The thing is,
this series is why.
I always think of Matt Smith as like the current Doctor because obviously you were into it like the most when Matt Smith was around. I got into it in 2012 when he was still the Doctor. So I just think of him as the current.
We really became friends while he was the Doctor, to be honest.
Yeah. It was like
anyway
of his, but yeah.
Series 6.
I
think there are good ones in Series 6. But I think it's a best series.
I agree. The thing is, the overall story arc I think was pretty decent, and you had like the first half was good because you had Day of the Moon, Good Man Goes to War, but then the second half just falls flat on its head.
I think the second half of the series lets it down a lot. But even then, in the first half, there's some really boring episodes. The Day of the Moon and The Impossible Astronaut is brilliant. Is it Pirates? The pirate one after that? Curse of the Black Spot?
That is the worst episode of New Who. Up until
it's not the worst episode of New Who, but it's fucking dreadful.
If you don't take into account season 11 and 12, then in my opinion,
Unicorn and the Wasp is still probably my least favourite.
Oh, you can't say it's worse than the Curse of the Black Spot. I mean,
Curse of the Black Spot is fucking bad though. It's really bad. Is it the Gang of Two-parter after that?
No, it's Doctor's Wife after that.
Oh, Doctor's Wife is good.
I like that one.
I like Doctor's Wife.
Well, because it's got mentions Time Lords and
Neil Gaiman's a pretty good writer as well.
Yeah.
And the Ood is cool.
Yes.
And Seeing the Old TARDIS was cool as well.
Yeah.
What's after that? The
Gang one. I'll tell you what, with the Doctor's Wife, the woman who played her, you know the episode of Sarah Jane Adventures, the Mona Lisa?
Yeah.
That's her. That's the same actress.
Oh, mad! I didn't know that.
I didn't until a few years back. I was like, what?
I don't remember all that much about the Gang of Two-parter. I can just remember it being a meh when I watched it.
It's I would say 6 out of 10.
I remember the ending to the second half.
That's good because that sets up obviously Good Man, but
Good Man Goes to War is very good. Yeah. We'll get to that immediately. That's a good story.
Yeah, Good Man.
Let's Kill Hitler is really fucking dumb.
I mean, I
don't know how I feel about. I mean, they don't even kill Hitler, so I don't really know why he was in the title. He's in the episode for a minute.
Pretty much. And my problem with that is River Song starts off wanting to kill him, then suddenly she just wants to save him, and it's what? It was just a bit poorly written, to be honest. But it's a decent episode, but I can't put it above 7 out of 10. Even 6. I'd probably go 6 out of 10 for that episode.
Yeah, I genuinely can't remember what episodes come after Let's Kill Hitler, to be honest.
I do know this. It's Night Terrors, and I always skip it because I find that so boring.
The trailers for Night Terrors made it look so good.
Yeah.
This is what I remember. I remember watching Series 6 Part 2. The trailers for Night Terrors made it look like it was going to be this really good, really scary story. And I can remember watching it and being so bored and finding the dolls just stupid.
So stupid, not scary, and just dumb.
Pretty bad episode.
Yeah.
What comes after that?
Girl Who Waited.
That's good.
I like that one because obviously it's quite clever how. Well, I say clever, but you've got old Amy, you've got young Amy. Who does Rory choose? So anyway, it was Rory's choice in the end. But
I like that one. What's after that?
God Complex.
Oh, God Complex. It is kind of good and kind of bad.
I mean, you got David Walliams, and he's quite funny. So
there's some good parts about God Complex, but overall, it's kind of meh still.
It sets up, and it either sets up the crack in the Time of the Doctor, or it sets up the War Doctor. So that's pretty cool. You got Weeping Angels in there.
But it should have been the War Doctor. Making it the crack was stupid.
Mm.
And oh god, what's after Closing Time?
Not the
dear, Series 6.
I mean, it brings back what do they call them? The cyber bug things from the second Doctor time, I think it was. But
Cybermats. The little rat things.
Yeah.
It's one of the weaker Cybermen stories.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think the strongest Cyberman is either season 10 finale or Armored Ghost.
Moffat really struggled with the Cybermen, didn't he? Because he didn't do a good Cyberman story until Series 10.
I think he struggled with the Daleks, because other than Asylum with the Daleks, which was still not 10 out of 10, it was just he didn't do well with Daleks, in my opinion.
He struggled with both, to be honest.
Yeah, the best villains of Doctor Who, he kind of fucked them up.
He did the Master all right. But
I agree.
I feel like he didn't know how to do the Cybermen and the Daleks.
No.
He did one great Cyberman story.
He didn't want them, and he just probably pushed them in there just because they're, long time.
Yeah. Wedding of River Song is crap as well.
I mean, it's
We didn't even talk about Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol's fucking boring.
yeah. I mean, it's got good concepts, but yeah, it just like for half the episode, I'm kind of falling asleep. Although the song at the end, I like it. So you know, the music in the Christmas specials, I
Too
think, is what.
Disney for me. I feel like.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from.
Bit too Disney movie.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, Series 6 is a straight meh.
It's
Also the payoff to the overall story is really bad as well.
That's what I thought. I just felt, yeah, it just, and the thing is, the Husbands of River Song like was obviously the climax, but it was a bit weak and just kind of a pointless.
Wedding of River Song, I think you mean.
I would say Wedding of River Song can't get above a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad finale.
It's definitely, I'd say, his weakest.
Yeah.
I mean, Name of the Doctor's up. Still quite.
I'll tell you what, no, it's Matt Smith's worst finale, but it's not the worst finale that Moffat did, because Series 8's finale is. But then again, you got Series 9's finale as well.
I mean, Season 9's finale,
We'll get to those. They're two very bad finales. But yeah, Series 6 is going in a meh.
I 100% agree. Meh. Can't get above that.
Yeah.
Overall
Series
story,
7 is dog. Series 7 is dog shit.
It's a tough because
I don't know if I'll send it in. I don't know if I'll put it in there, just because it's got Day of the Doctor.
True, and the thing is, it has obviously the first half, other than Angels and the Dalek one, it was dog shit, and it's got a couple decent ones in the second half.
I think Asylum of Daleks is dog shit too.
It's.
I'd say the only good episode from that first half is Angels Take Manhattan. I think the other four are crap.
No, the Power of Freeze, like
the Widow and the Wardrobe is crap as well, and so is the Snowmen.
I mean, the thing is, the Clara plot I was starting to like, but she just became like the shittest companion. Yeah. It just lets it down.
I'm not gonna lie, as well, in the second half of the series, they had the worst title sequence I've ever seen. The title sequence for Series 7 Part 2 is so shit, and it looks like it was made in about 10 minutes on After Effects.
It's just so like the thing is, that's the problem with Season 7. Like, they changed a lot of things halfway through. It was so random, made absolutely no sense, and it was just, messy scene.
Series 7 Part 2, Bells of St. John is okay.
Yeah.
Even though I think the Wi-Fi storyline is going to be like very dated, but
it can be now, I guess. But
I genuinely don't remember any other episodes. I'm not going to lie with you.
Rings of
Nightmare in Silver and Name of the Doctor. I can't remember any others.
There was Rings of Akaten.
That's okay.
Good song. Cold War I find boring, but people like
it. Cold War's not great.
It's not great. Hyde, semi decent.
Hyde is boring.
I have a soft spot for Hyde, but it's certainly not the best. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. Great to explore the TARDIS, but still boring. Yeah. Oh god, Crimson Horror is so boring.
Crimson Horror is genuinely bad. Like, that episode is straight up terrible. That episode is no.
It was just
episode is Send It Back into the Time War.
It's bad.
Nightmare in Silver was crap as well.
People like it. I find it really. It's so shit.
Nightmare in Silver was crap. Name of the Doctor is pretty good, but like when the rest of the series has been either terrible or boring.
Yeah.
Name of the Doctor can't really save it.
It can't bring it's if it was like Stolen Earth or something at the end of the series.
I'd put Name of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor on the same level, and I'd put Day of the Doctor above both of them. But I think all those episodes do is save it from being Send It Back. I think it's got to be bad. I think it's got to be. Bad Wolf.
I agree. I think Time is slightly better than Name, and then obviously Day of the Doctor is just quite a good episode. But,
Day of the Doctor is legendary, but that's one episode on its own. This is the entire series.
Yeah.
And the entire series is crap.
If it wasn't for the specials, I think that season would struggle being even bad, to be honest.
If Day of the Doctor wasn't in this if Day of the Doctor wasn't in this series, I'd say this would have been Send It Back.
Yeah. I would be very skeptical too, but I would probably agree. But yeah, we've got it, so it saves it.
Yeah. Series 8 has a good opener, and Listen is good. But
Good
other
opener.
than that, every episode in this series is either meh, boring, or bad.
Sorry, did you say good opener?
Deep Breath is good.
Deep Breath is shit. It is.
I like Deep Breath.
Deep Breath is 80 minutes. It's 40 minutes stretched to 80 minutes. It's so boring.
No, I don't mind Deep Breath. I think it's a great opener for Peter Capaldi. And I think Listen is very good as well.
The only bit of Deep Breath that's good is the mention back to Girl in the Fireplace. Other than that, it's just so long. But no, I agree with Listen. Listen is the superior episode.
Listen is I do think Listen is very good. I think the Robin Hood one's not awful either.
It's
I
just
think it's I don't think it's great, but I think it's like decent.
it's semi-decent.
Into the Daleks, terrible. And then everything after Listen is meh.
Pretty much.
Until you get to the finale, which is straight up awful.
I mean, the finale has its semi-decent moments, but it's thing is, this is weird. I've always hated.
They took a really distasteful approach in the finale, though. When they tried saying like, "Oh, anyone who gets cremated is tortured,"
and feels the
it's
burn.
like, can you imagine if you just had a relative that got cremated? You'd be in fucking despair watching that.
Yeah, it was just that drags it down. But you know what?
They send it. Oh,
tell you what, Matt. When I watched season 8 about 6 months ago, I've come to like it a lot more. But I think it has to be bad.
I really like Peter Capaldi in series 8, but Clara is annoying. I don't like Danny Pinkle that much.
I don't like either.
All of the episodes are so meh and so boring, except for Listen. And then that finale is just bad.
It was so boring. I think because
I was going to say Bad Wolf, but I think I can even justify Send It Back.
I would say Bad Wolf, but you know what? I'm going to let you decide because I used to try and pretend that series didn't exist. I've liked it a lot more now, but it's
if you pretended it didn't exist, it's got to be Send It Back then.
No, I've come to like it more.
From what I've heard, you've said there's one good episode.
I struggle, but you know what? Send it in Time War. Send it back in the Time War.
Send it back in the Time War. I think it's yeah. Oh god, Series 9's up next. A lot of people like Series 9, and I don't get why, because the series is really not good.
I'm one of those people.
Oh no, man.
Okay,
the only episode I can name from Series 9 that is amazing is Heaven Sent.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through the episode. So
Peter Capaldi's just acting by himself.
Yeah,
and Peter Capaldi starring Peter Capaldi featuring Peter Capaldi.
It shows what he can do.
Yeah, and I think that episode is fantastic. Hellbent is terrible though. I remember watching it with you and we both hated it when we watched it.
It ruined Gallifrey. It ruined the end of time, and oh my god!
It made me dislike Clara more than I already did.
Now, obviously, there are some elements involving their relationship I actually really liked, but I think it was in the wrong episode.
You're probably going to have to remind me of some of the episodes here because I'm thinking through the series. I remember almost every episode was a 2-parter.
Yes.
Or a 3-parter, because the finale was a 3-parter.
Yeah. Right, let's go through it. So
the 2-parter at the beginning is great, and I like it, but that's probably because it's got Davros in it, so I'm biased.
I wouldn't even say great. I would just say good for that. But
I think it's good. I think the bits with the Doctor and Davros are very good, but I think the Missy stuff is a little bit over the top.
Pointless having her there.
Missy and Clara a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
The Doctor and Davros stuff is good. I remember the Lake one being quite good.
That's one of my favourite episodes of the series. I have such a soft spot for that. I don't know why. I really like it. But
I don't remember what's after that.
It's
the Zygon 2-parter.
Yeah.
The Zygon 2-parter is pretty good, and it's got that great speech in it.
The thing is,
I don't think that's next, though, is it?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to search this up because I genuinely don't remember this series.
The thing is, it was Invasion, which was the first part, was very, very good. The Inversion, which was the second part, other than the speech, I get quite bored in that one. It doesn't do it for me. But yeah, no, it's so.
I genuinely can't remember what other episodes. There was Last Christmas, if we're counting that. I
No,
guess
that was season 8, wasn't
that
it?
was season 8. Yeah, that was bad. That makes series 8 worse.
That was dog shit.
The girl who died and the woman who lived was after the lake one. Those episodes are really bad.
Girl who died, all right. Woman who lived, shit. Just so bad.
I don't like. I like the callback to Fires on Pompeii in Girl Who Died.
That's the only thing that makes it decent for me.
Yeah, the woman who lived is rubbish. Zygon Invasion and Zygon Invasion and Zygon Inversion is quite good.
Inversion is a bit more boring.
Inversion is I think Inversion's the better one because that's got that really good speech in it.
That's the only thing that makes it decent for me. That speech, I just find it a bit boring.
You fucking hate Sleep No More, which is next. I remember you fucking hating this one.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dogged. It's so eyelashes are an enemy now. Like what?
I remember not minding it, but you fucking hated it.
So boring. It was like, what the fuck is this? And it was Mark Gatiss, and I expected a bit more from him. Oh my god! No, I can't do that.
I remember not minding it, but I just remember you fucking detesting it.
It was like you with Unicorn and the Wasp. It's one of those where, for some reason, I hate it with a passion. It's so boring, pointless alien. Just yeah. I can't do that one. It drags the series down for me so much. Well, that and The Woman Who Lived.
Yeah, I like the ending where they revealed that like you've been watching it the whole time, and because you've been watching the found footage, you now have like the sand people in your eye, and like you're turning into one. I like that.
Right.
So it's a nice way to break the fourth wall, but in a good way. Face the Raven's boring.
I mean, I've actually come to like that one because I actually quite like the Clara sacrifice.
I like that Clara dies at the end.
The thing is, though,
because I hate Clara, so watching her die is always fun.
Precisely.
I just wish they didn't bring her back to life 2 episodes
exactly.
later.
I mean, it was actually quite a good farewell, and then they fucking bring her back like an episode later, and it's like, what's the purpose there? How is that emotional now? You know, the sacrifice basically for nothing. Yeah, difficult 3-parter, but Heaven Sent is obviously 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
Yeah,
brilliant episode. Can't fault it. And obviously Gallifrey at the end, great reveal.
Yeah, Heaven Sent is just really fucking good. Hellbent is terrible.
Now I've said this: if Hellbent was a good episode, that 2-parter would probably be just as good or better than Stolen Earth. But it's Hellbent drags it down so much.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the concepts with the Doctor and Clara's relationship kind of work in that episode, but it was the wrong place to do it. And they used Gallifrey. Rattalon was there for what, 10 seconds? He was just a weak old man, couldn't do anything. It's just a bit of a joke.
Yeah. Husbands of River Song is kind of boring, but I like the ending with the tower.
I quite like that episode, and obviously the ending brings it up a lot. And
I'm saying Series 9's a meh, my guy. I would like we need to get this wrapped up soon. I'm saying Series 9's a meh.
I would push for Fantastic, but I think because it's got so much that
I can't in my heart give this a Fantastic.
I think let's stick with meh.
Series 10, I think kind of legendary, but I can argue I think kind of fantastic, but I can see where you'd argue a legendary.
Okay, let's Return of Doctor Mysterio. I really like that.
That's pretty good.
Then Pilot is actually quite decent and actually quite.
I don't mind Pilot. I must say as well, I really like the companions in this series.
Yes,
there was one of the best companions of the series.
Before, but the companion relationship.
And Nardo's great as well.
Yeah, it's the best companion relationship since Donna, in my opinion.
Smile's pretty bad. I don't remember Thin Ice.
Thin Ice it's kind of your run of the mill basic Doctor Who episode. It wasn't really special.
Oh, Knock Knock was pretty good.
Knock
Knock with the wood and stuff. That was decent.
Yeah. That was surprisingly decent. Oxygen, I think, is great.
Oxygen's not bad.
sacrificing himself for
Yeah,
her.
and then
Like,
I love the cliffhanger at the end where he says, "I'm still blind."
I'm so
Great
blind, yeah.
cliffhanger, and the screen glows black when he says it.
Yeah.
Great cliffhanger. Oh, monk three-parter.
Now, and I think you're the same. A lot of people find this one boring, but I really
I
like
think
it.
all three parts of this are really boring.
They drag in places. I just think they've got some really good concepts. But yeah, I just really like it. Kind of puts it up for me in a way. But yeah, I could see where people come from. Hmm. What episode is that?
Empress of Mars.
Uh, mm,
I
semi.
don't remember a thing about the episode except for the Ice Warriors.
Yeah.
This is where the series starts to take a little bit of a dip, in my opinion.
It again, it was a fairly good concept, but I struggle with it because
Yeah.
it's not
It feels like a Series 8 episode, in my opinion.
yeah, in a way. What was the other one? What was the other one?
The Eaters of Light, which
Eaters
I
of Light.
do not remember anything about.
Now, a lot of people don't like it. I find it surprisingly good. I've actually forgotten elements of it, but I do find it surprisingly good.
I remember there was Romans, but I
it
don't
was
remember a thing about what
Romans.
happened in the episode.
I've forgotten aspects, but I think someone sacrifices himself at the end. I love how I say I quite like it, but I can't actually remember all the plot.
Now,
I remember it being good. That's
with
the thing.
this, I would have just said the series was meh so far, but that two-part finale.
Wild Enough in Time and Doctor
So
Fox.
good. It's so good.
Honestly, I know you like the season 5 two-parter better, but I just think it's
No, I prefer this one over Series 5's finale.
Yeah,
It's so good.
You've got to
finally learn how to write the Cybermen. What just happened? Anyway, yeah, no, you finally learned how to write the Cybermen. Great two-parter. The Master coming back as well. It was great. Missy was at her best in this one.
Okay. Now, the only issue I have with this is John Sim was sort of underused in my opinion, but it
I
doesn't
think it was used about right.
It doesn't matter too much because you can't really have him as like the main bad guy because that's not
Yeah.
the purpose of him anymore. And I think we can both agree it's the best like finale since Journey's End starting out.
I think it would have been better if they hadn't revealed that John Sim was coming back like months in advance. I think if they made it like an actual surprise, it would have been great.
Like when he kind of says former prime minister, like that would have been the most like jump up moment ever. Yeah, I agree.
No, of course the tabloids leaked it.
Yeah.
And then Twice Upon a Time, which I think is quite good. I think it's amazing, but I do think it's pretty good.
What I love about Twice Upon a Time is that there's not actually like a bad guy in it. It's kind of just it
is just about the Doctor coming to terms with regenerating.
Yeah, it's got the first Doctor, obviously as well, which is great. David Bradley did a fine job. I do wish we went sort of immediately from the first Doctor regenerating to the 12th Doctor regenerating, instead of kind of dragging it a little bit towards the end. Yeah, I get what you mean. But I get why they did it, because they needed the big emotional climax for the Doctor. I think it's a great final story, though, for Peter. And the first Doctor was cool. It's obviously, I'm so biased towards End of Time, but I think it's a lot better than Time of the Doctor. A lot better. I can get behind that. Yeah. With all that said, so I don't know. I'm in between. I'd go with Fantastic, but if you want Legendary, I'll let you have Legendary. Petition for Legendary on this. I absolutely have to. I just think this would mean also that each Doctor so far has gotten into Legendary tier. That's true. Well, they deserve it. I mean, it's if you want Legendary, I'll let you have Legendary. Oh, you're a lad. Thank you. I just the finale has to bump it in. Yeah, I had to put down Series 9 so you can have Series 10 up. Yeah, true. Compromise. Right then, here's where we get into the controversial ones. Oh my god. Series 11. Oh dear. Very little good episodes in Series 11. The Woman Who Fell to Earth is meh. It's meh. Oh god, I need to remind myself about these episodes. Ghost Monument is next. Ghost Monument is shit. It's shite. Thing is,
Ghost Monument
I'm
is so
gonna-
shit.
I'm going to forget the episodes of this because I've watched these series.
Rosa's pretty good.
Rosa.
I think Rosa is probably one of her better ones.
Well, what I would have liked is, I don't know if you agree, but it would have been a great opportunity to bring back like the Trickster, because it was kind of had Trickster vibes in that, change history. But
It would have been better if that was the Trickster rather than just some random racist time agent.
yeah.
I think he was a bit overdone. I would have preferred it if they'd used like a Trickster or something.
Yeah. But no, I think it was quite emotional on the bus, so I think that's a good episode.
I think Rosa's probably one of Jodie's better ones.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Arachnids in the UK is. Oh, do you know what? What was the other one I said was bad, but it was like so bad it's hilarious.
11 Monsters, I think.
11 Monsters. I'd put Arachnids in the UK on the same level. It's fucking horrendous, but it's like hilariously horrendous.
It's just a weird, because all I found with it is it's just was a bit of a fuck America, fuck guns episode. Like, it's just obviously the main bad guy was basically just an American with a gun.
Do you know what I've started to notice from Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who episodes?
Yeah.
Is that every episode they'll meet up with some people, and one by one they'll keep adding more and more people into their group of people until by the end of the episode there's just this massive group of like 10 people in the TARDIS or some shit. And it's so clear in Arachnids in the UK where just one by one they just keep adding these unconnected people. It's like you've already got 3 companions. Why do you need more people?
I thought I was the only one who noticed that, but that is absolutely right. I mean, they're literally every episode.
And it happens in so many episodes. It's not even like just 1 or 2. It happens in loads of episodes. It happens later in the series in Kablam.
Yeah.
It happens again, sort of, in the Witchfinders. It happens in It Takes You Away. It happens in the Battle of Rancor whatever the fuck. Ghost Monument, it happens. Like, it happens in so many episodes. But in season 12, it happens again.
Can you give me a minute? Because I need to pull up season 11 list of episodes. I cannot remember.
I can read them out to you as we go. The Tusunga Conundrum. The one with the pating.
Oh my god, that's so cringe.
It's bad. This one also has the one where you've got the guy who's giving birth, and there's like some alien king or something. It's bad. It's a bad one. Demons of the Punjab. Demons of the Punjab is okay.
I was going to say, actually, this is one of my favourite of the series. It's probably the strongest, in my opinion.
I do quite like Demons of the Punjab. That one's not bad.
It's not a main enemy as well. It's kind of just... They're there.
Kablam is up next. I quite like Kablam. Kablam's pretty good.
Remind me of Kablam.
They go to Amazon, but in space.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it was like
they go to the Amazon warehouse, but it's in space.
That was sad actually, because I was that kid and the girl, I was kind of shipping them, but yeah, he killed her. So
I like Kablam.
Yeah, it's not terrible, not terrible.
Nah, it's a decent one. I like there's kind of a message behind there as well about not replacing humans with robots and computers.
Yeah, that's what I like.
It's not a great message, but it's something there. I low-key like the Witchfinders, the next one.
I'm just trying to remember this one because the Doctor almost got dunked in water, doesn't she, at the end?
But the guy playing, is it King James?
Yeah, I think so. So
good. King James, he's having a fucking blast with it, and you can tell. Yeah. It's so good. It Takes You Away.
That was the one about that, like, conscious was it?
I think It Takes You Away started very good.
Yeah.
And then once they introduced the mirror world, they lost me.
The problem is, I thought that was going to be the 2-parter, like the end of the series, but it was just like one episode where they rushed so many times.
The thing about the idea of like this monster taking her dad away and them having to find this monster while keeping this blind girl protected, who doesn't want their protection, I thought was such a good idea. Yeah. And then they went into the mirror, and it was just...
It's just so many elements that do not fit
What
together.
father would leave their own daughter behind so they could go travel across dimensions? Like, nah.
No,
It
it's
doesn't
not.
do it. It loses me. It starts very good and then it loses me.
It's like 2 episodes, or like 3 or 4 episodes within
And
one.
then the
episode.
frog at the end is the stupidest thing.
Yeah. That.
God, it takes you away. Could have been great, but
It was the frog. I forgot about the fucking. Yeah. No, that just takes it away from me.
the Battle of Ranskor Avkolos. Oh fucking dear! What a bad finale.
The fact that I can't remember these episodes just shows their shit. What happened in that one? I can't even remember.
There's like I don't know. There's people who seem like they should be in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then they run into the Teeth villain from episode 1, who they try to build up as like a big bad and like a really like intimidating and bad villain on the level of like the Daleks and the Sontarans.
Even though
he's not, because he's just not intimidating in the slightest.
A guy with a face full of teeth. There was nothing.
Yeah,
really...
he's not a good villain. Resolution is okay.
It's an interesting concept to explore with the Daleks, but it's still
a lot of people really hated the Dalek design, but I kind of liked it.
I thought it was a bit shit, but I respect.
I got it for Resolution when they did it in Revelation or Revolution or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. That's when they lost me again, when they made it the metal version. But I think while it was like the scrap metal, it looked good.
I think the thing is they needed a new design, because I don't think they had a different design, did they, since like season 5? I don't think, because that was one of the full ones.
Overall, with series 11, there's some okay episodes, but it's kind of meh. I'd say. I don't think it's bad, but I do think it's maybe meh.
I was going to go as far as to say send it back into the Time War, but
nah, Rosa brings it up for me. Demons of the Punjab brings it up.
The thing is,
Blam brings it up. I have a soft spot for the Witchfinders.
I agree with most of those points, but I cannot put season 11 on par with 3. I'm gonna have to say it's
then again, I can't put it on the same.
Like even
I don't even think I could put series 3 on the same part as all of these. I think we might have to move series 3 up.
Matt, you're a bloody genius. I think.
I know there were some stinkers in series 3, but I think it deserves to get moved up. To be honest,
I agree. David Tennant series.
No, we're moving series 3 up. I say move series 3 up and put series 11 on the same level as series 9 and 6.
You know what? Because you've moved season 3 up for me, I think I can compromise on that. Because there were some all right ones in there.
Although we might have to reconsider series 11 after looking at series 12.
True.
Because I wouldn't put. Because I don't think I'd put series 12 above Meh, but I also don't think I'd put series 11 and 12 on the same level.
No. Oh, season 12. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, here we go. Season 12.
Spyfall
Part 1 is great, in my opinion. But Spyfall Part 2 is a letdown.
Thing is, the Master, I can't remember the actor's name. He cannot play the Master for shit. Like, he has
disagree. I think he's so good.
He has no facial expressions. He has.
No, I disagree. I think. What's his face? What's his name? What's his name? How have I forgotten this?
It begins with an R. I know that.
Sacha Dhawan.
Sacha Dhawan.
Yeah. He was in An Adventure in Time and Space. I think he's a great master. I'm sorry. I think he's great.
I can't agree with that. He's just shit.
I think he's a good master.
I think a lot of things with season 11 and 12.
I think he plays like an over-the-top version of what John Sims was. It was like the psychotic, deranged master.
It doesn't work for him.
I think he's great. I disagree. I think Sacha Dhawan is a great master.
Cannot act the master. I think the writing lets him down a lot, but I just think he doesn't work. I mean, give him.
I'd honestly say Sacha Dhawan is what kind of saves the Timeless Children for me.
No, it's what
drags it so good.
It drags it down for me. It just
the Timeless Children is a bad episode, but Sacha Dhawan, he's kind of overacting, but it works for the Master in my opinion.
You're mad. It's it's not. Oh, it doesn't work. It's so dry.
I just realised why I think Spyfall Part 2 might actually be worse than Spyfall Part 1. Because Spyfall Part 2 and 1 are directed by different people.
Wait, are you joking me?
Yeah, and Spyfall Part 1 is directed by Jamie Magnus Stone, and Spyfall Part 2 is directed by Lee Haven Jones.
I swear that's unheard of for a two-part.
Why? It's a two-parter. Why is it two different directors?
It's not even like it's a same story with like two different names. It's actually part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, I'd say Spyfall's okay. Oh no, we've arrived at it. Speaking of Lee Haven Jones, he directed our next episode, which, do you know what? Even after all I've said about Unicorn and the Wasp, I might have to retract my statement. This might be the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. Orphan 55.
I've realised what it is.
Oh no.
Man, it's the climate change one, isn't it?
Yep.
Now talk about political correctness.
Oh no, Orphan 55. What happened here?
No. It was.
This might be the worst fucking episode.
God.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Have you noticed that I've been saying about bad episodes that they have good concepts, right?
Yeah.
This does not have a good concept. It is so
No, this has one good concept. This has one good concept. I will not have this slander. One good thing about Orphan 55. Benny! Like, what happened here? Like, it puts in a climate change message, which is so ham-fisted and badly done.
Yeah.
You designed such a cool-looking monster in the dregs to do shite all with them.
Yeah.
Oh, they cast James Buckley.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
How did you cast James Buckley and fuck up with him that badly?
James Buckley is a brilliant actor, but I don't think he works for Doctor Who.
You cast a legend of British TV in James Buckley.
And you just
between us. Fuck it, it's Jay Cartwright, man.
Jay bloody Cartwright.
How did you cast him? And you fucked his role up that badly.
No, it's that episode is such dog shit.
He's so good at comedy, and the comedy they gave him is so terrible.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just leave them to do it themselves. I mean, obviously the writer, or whoever wrote that, can't write for shit.
Such a waste of. Because I fucking love James Buckley. I think he's so good.
He is just a brilliant man.
The In-Betweeners, I said it before last week, is one of the best British TV shows of all time. But what a waste of a cast that was.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you what, when I watched this with my dad when I watched it, and when that when she started going on about if you don't act now, it's gonna end the world, and my dad just looked at me like, really?
No, the thing is, it is a good message for young people.
In a way. But
I think it's a good message, but the way they handled it and the way they did the message was so bad and so ham-fisted and ridiculous. I think that message is good and it belongs in Doctor Who, but the way they did it was dreadful.
The way they did it, I agree, is dreadful. My problem with the message itself was it was a bit, Greta Thunberg's bit. The world's gonna end soon.
I don't have a problem with the message because that message has been in Doctor Who before, back in like the 70s with John Pertwee in The Green Death. Yeah. It has the same message as Orphan 55. But the problem is, in that episode, it's handled well. In Orphan 55, it isn't. It's very patronizing and very do this now or you're gonna kill yourselves. Haha. I think it's so ham-fisted the way they did it. I feel like they would have needed extra time to make that ending and that message work.
Thing is, I don't know if you've noticed when they've done like political messages before, they kind of like with I guess the Shakespeare Code, like whipping the people in the mental asylum. That was all set in the past. It was kind of like a past tense vibe when they like dealt with those issues. So this
like what I said when they did Planet of the Ood and the slavery message in that one.
That's kind of very subtle. And
yeah, they handled it really well.
Yeah.
Orphan 55 has none of the subtlety.
Mm.
It has all of the subtlety of slapping someone in the face with a sign that said "recycle now." Like,
Pretty much.
it's bad. We can't say talking about Orphan 55. It's terrible.
We can't stay on that.
We're not even getting into even some of the worst stuff. Like the writing and the dialogue in this one is terrible.
Oh, the dialogue for the whole
Except for Benny.
Benny.
What have you done with my Benny? I love her final line, the way she dies, where she's like, "Go, I'll handle them," and she just runs up to him and goes, "Which one of you hurt Benny?" And she immediately dies. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. I love it. Anyway, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is meh.
It was.
I thought that was going to be the Rachnos when I saw it in the trailer.
Really? Actually, I think the actress who played the Rachnos in A Runaway Bride was the same.
Yeah.
And it did look like their heads looked like the Rachnos, didn't it?
Mm. Fugitive of the Jadoon. I don't even know what to say about this episode. Because it started okay with just the Jadoon, and then they kept just adding what the fuck moments into this episode.
It's just a bit messy.
I feel like it's maybe one too many what the fuck moments. Like, first you have Jack, which was a massive what the fuck.
Yeah.
Then you throw in the Time Lords. Then you throw in the fact that they're alien and it's Time Lords. Is another what the fuck.
Yeah.
Then you add in the it's the Doctor, which is an even bigger what the fuck. Then you add in like the amnesia stuff, which is another what the it's just one too many what the fuckery moments.
You know what's weird about this episode?
It kind of makes it a little bit messy.
Yeah. Thing is, right, when I watched this, I knew that Jack was back. That was spoiled. I knew that Joe Martin was the Doctor.
It shocked me when I saw it. It was
well, you're lucky.
I heard the voice. I was like, no way. Not after 10 years. They've not brought him back. And then he pops up, and I was like, and then as I heard the voice more, I was like, it is. That's him. That's John Barrowman. And then he popped up, and I was like, yes.
No, that
did nothing in the episode, and he proceeded to disappear after about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the bit that pissed me off a little. I'll be honest with you, but
and then he wasn't even in the finale, so it was a return for a pointless return.
Yeah, it could have just
done shoehorned it into the Dalek one.
Because the thing is, the message that he gave the companions, it didn't really stop the Cyberman in the end. It didn't need to be there.
We need to hurry up on this, so let's keep going. Fugitive of the Jadoon is okay. Praxius is pretty bad. That's another bloody climate change message.
What happened to that?
The microplastics in the sea and whatnot, and the birds.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
It's another bloody climate change episode.
Yeah.
2 in a series, would you believe? Can You Hear Me is fucking hilarious.
What was? You're gonna have to go through all of these. I've completely forgot that one.
The one with the gods, where they trick the Doctor into. You got the god whose fingers come off, and he puts them into people's ears while they sleep.
So weird though. I was just like, why are you fingering people?
And then they released the other god, but it turns out the god they released is more evil than he is.
Yeah,
I like that twist. That was a good twist.
I like that twist. I do like that twist. No, that's probably quite a strong one for the series, actually. The Haunting of Villa Diod. I'm not even going to try and say that word. Diodati.
Yeah.
Diodati. Oh my god.
Oh god. Haunting of Villa Diodati. I feel like the Cyberman just does not fit in this episode.
This was one of those like horror haunting episodes.
Yeah, it started off as like the horror haunted episode, and then they had a scene with that where you had the woman and the little girl, which they never explained.
Yeah, it's like, so are they actually ghosts?
Yeah. And then they shoehorned in a Cyberman. And it was like, what?
So out of place. And it was another one of those things that well, it wasn't actually written by him, but in his, you've said it before, like, it's just so many things happening.
Also, I think I saw someone say that the episode is a rip-off of like a Doctor Who audio episode.
Oh, really?
Paul McGann from like years ago that had Mary Shelley and a Cyberman. and did the
Oh,
whole Frankenstein thing.
what? Oh, that's so unoriginal then, isn't it?
Yeah, so that kind of docks points. Ascension of the Cybermen is okay.
I actually quite like this episode because
I like it. I like Ascension of the Cybermen.
leading up to something.
The flying Cyberman heads is a bit of a piss take, but
That was a bit cringe.
oh no, and then we hit the timeless
And
children.
then this is where it goes to shit. Again, Gallifrey has been ruined, like in Hellbent. I mean, it keeps on happening. And
I've said this before. I don't get who the timeless children reveal was for, because fans of the show are going to hate it. Casual viewers aren't going to understand it or care. And then new people getting into the show are going to be like, this is too confusing. I'm not into this. I'm tuning out. So it's like, who was this reveal for?
Exactly.
Who was this meant to make happy? Was it done for Chibnall? It was done for him, wasn't it? Like, it's because he wanted to.
I think it's just him trying to make his big mark on the show, but it was disrespectful. It was just pointless.
Yeah, I feel like they go a little bit too far in play. I don't mind it, but because I don't care enough to like hate it or be like, oh yeah, it's awful. It ruins the show. It ruins Doctor Who. I don't mind it, but I do think it goes a little bit too far in some places. And again, I don't know who it was done for because the die-hard fans that watch the show religiously were always going to hate it, and casual viewers don't care. So, like, who was it done for?
It's just for him. Like, I think in ways it does ruin the show because obviously the Doctor's supposed to always have this kind of knowledge, and then this has been hidden. Sorry, she has had this knowledge. That's one of the main parts of this.
I feel like having the Doctor just be like a traveler and just like pretty much a nobody on Gallifrey before they went traveling was better for the character. Exactly. Making them into some sort of chosen one it's a little over the top.
My main problem because obviously he was just an ordinary like Time Lord, ordinary person.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie Tectuane for torturing a child as well. That was a fun scene to watch.
Yep.
Because it's straight up implied she just keeps killing and torturing this child.
Yeah.
So that's fun for 7 p.m. tea time viewing.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
And then we have Revolution of the Daleks, which is very meh.
Very
meh. I don't even know how I feel on this one. I like seeing Jack again. I just wish he did more.
I love that.
Graham leaving is upsetting considering he's a great companion.
Yeah.
God.
Certainly, Bradley Walsh.
Yeah.
Ryan.
I've had enough of seeing the bloody Jack Robertson, Donald Trump guy.
Yeah.
It's a meh episode.
He was the gun guy in the Actids of the UK, wasn't he?
Yeah, honestly, man, Series 12, I think someone could make an argument for it being Bad Wolf, but Orphan 55 and Praxius really make me want to put this all the way down to send it back into the Time War.
It will all depend on what they do with the Timeless Child, because I've heard theories
I think we've got to put it on the same level as Series 8, actually, to be fair. Like, I was thinking it was better than Series 11. But at least with Series 11, it was just disappointing and a little bit boring in places. Series 12 has, like, just some genuinely really bad episodes in it.
Season 12 was either going to be actually quite good or just very bad, but I think it's very bad.
Yeah. In all honesty, I think looking at it more, I think I do actually prefer Series 11.
I mean, I think that Season 11 was shit, but it didn't ruin anything. It wasn't like...
Yeah, Series 11 is just boring. Like, Series 11 doesn't have an episode that's straight up really, really bad. It's just got episodes that are really boring and really forgettable.
It doesn't have any, like, great episode. That's
yeah. Well, Rosa's pretty good. I don't think Series 11 has any... I don't think Series 12 has anything on the level of Rosa or Demons of the Punjab.
No, I think I'm agreeing. Send it back to the Time War.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be sent back into the Time War. Back into hell.
Back into hell.
All right. You happy with that final ranking?
Let's just go through it quick. From bottom to the top.
From bottom to the top. So send it back into the Time War, back into hell. We've got Series 8 and Series 12. In Bad Wolf, we have Series 7. In Meh, we've got Series 6, Series 9, and Series 11. In Fantastic, we've got Series 2 and Series 3. And in Legendary, we've got Series 1, Series 4, Series 5, and Series 10.
It just shows that it's such a great show if, like, the Legendary is the biggest slot. Like, there's more in Legendary than the others.
Yeah. Or, to be fair, I would maybe argue Series 10 belongs one tier down, but yeah, I can get behind it.
Yeah, I can't budge on that. I've got to stand strong.
Yeah. I think all we can take away from this, and you don't really need us to tell you this, but do better, Chibnall.
Yeah, do better. Like, come
Because
on.
so far, Jodie Whittaker's the only Doctor without one in Legendary
The
tier.
thing is, what gets me is that obviously, to me, she's not the best herself, but like the writing is letting her down. Like, she could offer a lot more, but the writing.
She's a great actress, and I think she could be a very good Doctor, but the writing is ruining it for her.
Shit.
And I don't blame her for leaving.
Yeah, same.
Either. Because she's just been given shit after shit for this.
For being
She's tried her hardest to make it work. She's gone to David Tennant and gotten his advice on making it work.
Yeah.
Like, she prepared for it with Tennant.
Yeah, literally. Because they work at Broadchurch, don't they, I think?
She just can't catch a break with the writing is the problem.
It's the thing is as well, like, it's the first woman Doctor, and he's let her down and he's let the whole thing down, and I don't know.
Now if they cast a man to be the next Doctor, like I'm hearing they will, it's just you're unfortunately just gonna get a case of, oh well, clearly a woman Doctor could never have worked then, haha, guess it's gotta be a man again always. And I don't think that's a good idea. Because Ruth Martin seems like she'd be a great Doctor.
I will be honest with you. I was.
What about Joe Martin, who played the Doctor.
I've always sort of been against the woman being the Doctor, but I agree though. It's just, if you're going to do it, have a better writer, because she.
I didn't have an issue with it, and I think Jodie's fine. Just the writing lets her down and makes her one of the weakest Doctors.
If
not maybe the weakest Doctor, to be honest.
Yeah. Why did they get Chris Chibnall as the showrunner? Like, there were so many good ones.
I don't know. He had such a bad track record for the show that it really made no sense to cast him. But anyway, we're going to stop rambling on about Doctor Who, because we realise the majority of people don't care and probably haven't listened. If you have, let us know what your favourite Doctor Who series is.
Yes, please
do. We tried to make this episode shorter. We've now been going for about 2 hours, I think.
2 hours, yeah. This is who we knew we were going to waffle. Come on, we
so let us end the podcast here. Thank you for listening to episode 18 of the M.K.P podcast. I've been Matt, joined by
Paul Piggott, not Corona positive anymore.
Kush is here in spirit.
Yes,
we miss you, my guy. Please come back.
Come back, please.
Please come back, Kush. We all miss you. We all need you. You're a legend of the scene.
Legend. It is the guy who brings in the Indian viewers, Kush Vanky. We need him.
I don't know if we could keep that in. Anyway, the M.K.P podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Anchor, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Radio Public.
Ooh, nice.
Nice, very sleek. Sound like one of those old 1950s announcers, like, come on down to electric motors now for a great car. It's in your retail. Great cars, great General Motors. You know, like those type of people.
That's exactly what I thought when I heard it. Exactly what I thought.
Yes. Find us as well on Facebook and Instagram, where we don't post enough, but follow us and maybe we'll post more.
Yes.
And with that being said, we will see you in the next episode.
See you next time. Have a good one.
See you soon. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.